Hello, this is Manesh Patel for the EII Capital Group. This is the weekly Ichimoku analysis for the futures market. We're going to cover all the futures out there as much as we can in this time allotted for YouTube, from cotton, corn, gas, bonds, all that stuff. Okay, so let's not waste time. Um, Normal procedures. This is disclaimer. Basically stating this for educational use. All charts are either in Thinkorswim or TradeStation, and music is Guitaro. Here are my contact details. You can follow us on Twitter at Ichimoku Trading. Okay, so let's begin and go to our rating system, our heat map. That's based on Ichimoku. Here's the rating system. If you have not been with us, basically we're looking for a 5 to 8, where 8 being no extreme bullish. And then we're looking for -5 to -8, where -8 is extreme bearish. We're giving you 2 time frames, so you're kind of looking for the same rating on both of them in order to day trade, swing trade, or long-term position trade. Okay. Now, if you see conflicts, that's pretty much for counter trend players. But if you're a trend player, you're looking for the same ratings from both. So let's go through. Let's look at wheat. As you can see from wheat, there's now conflict there. We'll definitely look there. But we basically on the daily time frame pulled back. It was bullish, extreme bullish on both sides, but it's pulled back now, and it's pulled back hard. You could see from the daily time frame. Okay, soybeans pretty much is still bullish. Corn is still very bullish, but they're weakening, as you could see from the 5 here. Okay, sugar is bullish and it's starting to get stronger. Last week we had a little conflict, so it's starting to get stronger now again. Coffee is still bullish. Oats are bullish. So if you look at commodity futures, they're still very, very bullish, except for wheat. Now that's kind of gotten a little weak there. Gold, as you guys can see, 1320 now. It's extreme bullish. So is silver. And if you look at platinum, platinum now is starting to become bullish on the weekly too. So that's made a move up compared to what it was last week. Okay. Crude oil, still conflict among the time frames there. Natural gas, you could see it's just like before, it's still very bearish, and still bearish. So let's go look at the charts and start proceeding from there. And let's go look at the weekly time frame. And let's just go start looking down a list and just see how much we could cover in a short amount of time. Okay, so let's go look at crude oil. If we look at crude oil, pretty much we've been saying it's consolidating. Nice little push up here on the weekly time from last week. However, still in the consolidation pattern. Really hasn't said anything to us at all. In fact, some people could sit there and think that this is starting to become like a little head and shoulder pattern in between. But you could see from the weekly, it's strong. It's still consolidating on the weekly. On the daily, it's now popped out of the cloud. It's getting to this level right there. So the key thing is what's going to be happening here. But we're really not going to look for a trend until it at least pops up above this guy right there. Okay. So we got to wait and see what happens. But it did have a nice move up going forward, penetrated the cloud, has turned everything. So the daily is now bullish. But the weekly is still consolidating, you could see, but it has closed above the cloud, and this has gone there. So the only thing now left is this consolidates for a little while, and that makes a push movement up. There's a high possibility it can go to about 90, but you got to wait and see what's going to happen with crude oil. Okay, let's go to cotton. Cotton, you could see, is still very, very bullish. A little minor pullback that's happened on the weekly. Okay, let's go look at the daily. Daily, you could see the first time it's penetrated the Tinkinson is now looks like it's trying to get to the Cajunson, and the key is going to be what's going to happen. Is this a minor pullback or a major one where it penetrates the Cajunson? We don't know, but a major pullback is definitely needed on that one. Okay, let's go to cocoa. Cocoa futures. If you look at the weekly, definitely still looks bearish going forward. A little more push to the downside, but definitely looks bearish in the makings to happen very soon. You could see from the daily time frame here that it got to the cloud, bounced off that. The Chicago is now starting to be in price, so this is in between. So you kind of want to wait and see what happens, but you want it to get below this 2709 level before you even start looking at bearish at all, and then you want it to kind of see what happens once it breaks the cloud at 2903. Okay, so there's really nothing there for cocoa futures. Okay, let's keep on going. Gold, we'll look at the mini gold in a minute. Feeder cattle, let's go look at feeder cattle real fast. Look at the weekly time frame. Look what happened. Bearish, pulled back right at the Cajun. Now, if this thing does not sit there and go higher, this is definitely going to start turning, and there's a counter trend opportunity here. Now we're seeing counter trend. The reason why it's still bullish, but definitely looks like it has a possibility of breaking for the cloud, then coming up, pull back to about here, and then keep on going. So this looks like the trend may have reversed now for feeder cattle, but we have to wait and see what's going to happen this week. But this is definitely one to watch for the bearish side. You could see here, bounce off the cloud, and then if it now starts to go down, this is definitely going to be bearish trend that's going to be happening very, very soon. Lean hogs, if you look at lean hogs in the daily, it's bearish. It's basically at a major support level there. And let's go look at the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, this is exactly what we're talking about in feeder cattle, where it came here, pull back to the Cajun, and then it just sits there and then eventually starts making a move down. This is doing the same thing. So both feeder cattle and lean hogs are pretty much, looks like they're going to start trending to the bearish side very soon, but not quite yet. Okay, copper, if you look at copper, it's got a little move up. This is still hasn't looks. This still is not a confirmation it's broken this last high, but this looks very, very strong and going up. Okay, look at daily time frame. Daily still very, very strong. Okay, so you got to wait and see what happens, but this is strong. If you're not in any new positions, don't enter right now. You have to wait for a pullback. Okay, heating oil. Heating oil is taking off on the daily. Let's go look at the weekly. It's pretty much in a consolidation pattern. You really wanted to see what it's going to do right around this level here at 2.31. Okay, coffee. Coffee, you could see, is basically pulling back now. It's on a pullback mode. We're just going to look at the weekly time frames to speed this up. Lumber, you could see that it was basically had a huge move down. Now it looks like it's coming back up, wants to retrace. So we got to wait and see what's going to happen. But you got to wait for it to sit there and go below this 219 level for it to go bearish. Or wait for it to go above this cloud to go bullish again. Okay. Live cattle. Live cattle looks like it's just consolidating pretty much right at the top. Looks like it's just consolidating, and it could sit there and move higher or go the other way in a counter trend opportunity. Natural gas, you could see, is still bearish, and actually it looks like it's going to break down lower. One more week, the Chicago is going to come out, and it's going to be very bearish. So this thing's going to have a high chance of sitting there getting down to 3.3A for natural gas. So that's pretty interesting to see natural gas going the other way. Concentrated orange juice, you could see that it had a pullback last week and then went a little higher, so this is definitely a bullish opportunity here for orange juice. Okay, platinum, if you look at platinum, you could see that it's starting to retest the highs, but unlike the other metal commodities, this is still weak compared to all of them. Okay, let's go and skip some. Let's go look at sugar. Sugar, you could see, broke out of the cloud, is now having a trouble to get out of the cloud, and we talked about that. It's going to have problems now. So definitely look for a pullback in sugar if it wants to go higher. Okay, mini gold, you could see gold is now on a tear going up, and it's at 1320 and now has a possibility to get on 1500. Notice not a lot of people are talking about it either. 30-year Treasury bonds, this is the most interesting one. Look at this. It pulled back, a minor pullback, and now pretty much closed above the Tinkinson last week, and now has a possibility going higher. Possibility, okay? You don't know if it's going to stop right here and then go down, but there's a huge possibility that this thing is going to keep on going up. If you look at the daily time frame, look what's happened. Pretty much followed along the cloud, now has a possibility of retesting the highs and then going higher from there. Okay, so 30-year Treasury bonds have a chance of going higher. Last one I'm going to look at, oats, and we'll look at soy in a minute too. Oats is in a pullback mode. You could see it's coming here to the Tinkinson, but we have to wait and see what's going to happen once it gets to the Tinkinson. And soybean, look at soybeans here. Pulled right back to the Tinkinson, and now the question is going to be what's going to happen this week. Okay, if this is still very strong bullish and it wants to get to this level here at 12.15, this thing now has to start going up this week and pretty much start going up higher, and if anything it has to close above the 1084 by next week in order for it to even have a chance to go to 215. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed the video. You could post and ask us questions. Here are my contact details. If you'd like to see any of the other commodity futures or any futures covered, let us know.